fourth crash, stage 10 of the 2026 Dakar. Daniel Sanders is on the ground, and he's not getting up easy this time. Broken collarbone, broken breastbone, dirt in his teeth, and somehow he drags himself and his bike back up and finishes the stage. Fifth place with bones that shouldn't let him hold a handlebar, let alone race one. And here's the thing about Sanders, this isn't new for him. So you'd think after a year like this, getting smashed up stage after stage, he'd be behind in the championship, licking his wounds. He's not. He's leading it, only 3 points ahead of Tosha Schareina, with 50 points still up for grabs and one rally standing between him and history. Whoever wins the Rallye du Maroc probably wins the whole 2026 season. Here's exactly why that's true. The math that's eating both riders alive. Let's look at where things actually stand right now, because the numbers tell you everything about why nobody's sleeping easy. Sanders sits on 67 points, Schareina's right behind him on 64, then Benavides on 61, and Brabeck on 54. That's 4 riders inside 13 points of each other, heading into the second to last round of the year. Normally, a 3-point lead feels safe. You just ride smart and protect it. But with 50 points still on the table across 2 rounds, 3 points is nothing. It's basically a rounding error, and Sanders knows it. One bad stage, one mechanical, one navigation error in the dunes, and he's not leading anymore. He's fighting from behind. And this isn't just Sanders versus Schareina, even though that's the story everyone wants to tell. Look at the top 4 again. Honda's got 2 riders in there, Schareina and Brabeck. KTM's got 2 as well, Sanders and Benavides. So every stage that gets won, every bike that breaks down in the sand, it's not just shifting one man's title hopes, it's swinging the manufacturer's championship too. And KTM and Honda both know it. That trophy means factory budgets, bragging rights, and bike sales for years afterward. So this fight matters just as much in the boardroom as it does on the dunes. Schareina himself has already said it, in his own words, that everything is still open going into the final 2 rounds. When the guy chasing the points admits the title's wide open, that tells you how real the pressure is for both sides. So why these 2 riders specifically, out of 4 guys who could still win it? Because Sanders is chasing something no one's ever done in this class, and Schareina's spent the whole season refusing to lose by more than a couple of minutes. That's the story. 2 very different riders, same 3 points separating them, same desert waiting to decide it. Sanders and Schareina, the farmer and the shadow. Sanders grew up on an apple farm in Three Bridges, Victoria, about as far from a Moroccan sand dune as you can get. His nickname, Chucky, sounds like it should come from some horror movie villain thing, but it's actually from when he was a baby and puked up milk constantly. That's it. That's the whole story behind the nickname of a guy who's now one of the toughest riders in the sport. His 2025 Dakar win wasn't just a win, it was historic.
So Daniel, congratulations, but one day the farmer won the Dakar?
Yeah, hopefully Dad doesn't put me back to work on Monday when we're home. Landing it Sunday night, and I'm sure we'll be going around the orchard to see the apple sizes, and he'll be like, all right, 2 more weeks and you're back on the farm working. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to go back to Australia in summer and catch up with friends and family.
He led the entire rally from the very first stage to the very last, and before him, only one other rider had ever done that, Mark Coma, back in 2009. That's 16 years between the only 2 riders to ever pull off a start-to-finish Dakar win. It was also KTM's 20th Dakar victory, so it wasn't just personal history, it was brand history too. Now here's what makes 2026 different. No rider in the RallyGP class has ever won back-to-back W, 2 RC titles since the championship started. Not one. So Morocco isn't just about defending 3 points, it's about Sanders potentially doing something nobody in this sport has managed to do yet. Now flip to Schareina, and you get a completely different path to the same place. He's a motocross kid from Valencia, got into racing because of his uncle, and worked his way up through enduro before he ever touched a rally bike. No apple farm, no childhood nickname story, just years of grinding through a different discipline before he found his way onto the biggest stage in off-road racing. His 2025 Dakar result looks quiet on paper, 2nd place, but that number hides how close it actually was. He finished just 8 minutes and 50 seconds behind Sanders after over 53 hours of racing. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. after 2 full weeks in the desert. That's not a gap. That's a photo finish stretched across a continent. And 2026 has followed the exact same pattern. 3-stage wins at Dakar, more than anyone except Sanders himself, then second in Portugal, second in Argentina. Every single round, he's right there, right on the front wheel, and every single round, he doesn't quite close it out. That's the psychological weight Schareina's carrying into Morocco. He's been the fastest rider on the calendar for most of the year, without a single overall win to show for it. If he doesn't flip that script here, his next shot is Abu Dhabi, the very last round, with even less room for error. So you've got 2 riders who got here completely different ways, a farm kid who broke his body twice and kept winning, and a motocross kid who's been fast enough to win all year, but hasn't found a way to actually do it. Now they're both riding into the same brutal week in Morocco, and only one of them walks out with the points lead intact. Different machines, same fight, KTM versus Honda. On paper, the KTM 450 Rally wins the horsepower fight easy. It's putting out somewhere around 68 to 70 horsepower, while the Honda CRF 450 Rally sits closer to 58. That's a real gap, and if this rally came down to straight-line speed on hardpack, KTM would take it every single time. But Morocco isn't hardpack. It's soft sand for hours on end, and that's where the weight numbers flip the whole conversation. The Honda comes in fully loaded around 138 kilos. The KTM's carrying closer to 166. That's almost 30 kilos of difference. And in dunes, every one of those kilos works against you when you're trying to lift the front end out of soft sand for the 10th time in an hour. Fuel tells a similar story. Honda splits its tank between the front and rear of the bike for 36 liters total. KTM keeps it simple with a single tank at the back, holding 33. 3 liters doesn't sound like much, but it means Honda riders can go longer between fuel stops, which matters when a stage stretches on and every stop costs time you can't get back. Put those 2 things together, less weight and more fuel, and you start to see why Morocco specifically favors a bike like the Honda. The Zagora dune sections don't reward brute horsepower. They reward a bike that turns easy, that doesn't fight you, that doesn't wear your arms out by hour 4. So while KTM wins the numbers on paper, Honda might actually win the conditions. Here's how that lines up with the riders themselves. Sanders gets to lean on KTM's rally pedigree, decades of Dakar-tested reliability, a bike that's been proven over and over in exactly this kind of race. Schareina gets to lean on a bike that's just built lighter, built for this terrain specifically. 2 different advantages, and neither one's going to matter until you see what kind of route they're actually racing on. Mark Coma's gauntlet, where the title actually gets decided. Because the bikes are only half the equation. The other half is the route, and Mark Coma didn't hold back this year. 5 days, 2,773 kilometers total, with 1,591 of that time for the bikes. That's roughly 13% more special stage distance than last year. So this isn't just a title decider, it's also the hardest version of this rally riders have seen in a while. Stage 2 is already the one everyone's talking about. It's a new mountain route that drops riders into a rocky section, then straight into sand right after. And people who've seen the route are already calling it the toughest stage of the week. That's the kind of stage where 3 points can vanish in an afternoon. Then there's stage 4, and this one's less about physical toughness and more about navigation. It runs through canyon terrain with sections nobody's charted before, and this is where the FIA and FIM routes actually split off from each other. In a stage like that, a wrong turn doesn't cost you seconds, it costs you minutes, and minutes are exactly what separates Sanders from Schareina right now. And then there's the final stage, which Coma's kept a surprise. Nobody's seen how it ends yet. In a championship this tight, that's not some minor detail. That's the kind of thing that can flip a whole season in the last hour of racing. Don't forget Benavides and Brabec in all this either. If Sanders and Schareina spend the week watching each other, riding conservative, marking every move the other one makes, either teammate is close enough in points to slip past both of them and steal the whole thing. So yes, this is technically a 5-day race, but realistically, it comes down to 1 or 2 stages where somebody makes a mistake they can't take back. Closing, who actually wins this? So here's where it sits. 3 points, 2 riders, 2 brands, 1 brutal week in the Moroccan desert. Based on everything we just broke down, the bike, the route, the pattern all season, I think Schareina finally closes it out here. The lighter bike and the dune-heavy stages favor him too much to ignore. But even if he does, that doesn't settle the manufacturer's title. KTM and Honda are still fighting that battle separately. So tell me, Sanders or Schareina, who takes it? Drop your prediction in the comments before the rally starts.